Today, the 3rd day of December 2020. We want for Canley na table. Waiting the judiciary tell we for say anybody we not get ID card for identifying self no go enter inside the lockout building na free tongue. For now, na free tongue na in tell we but. If you know say you get court case and you no get ID, no bother because you no go enter the lockout building. Now be the 1st of December then start am. You go one for one that say waiting them be don't put in place before them begin for implement this one. Now a country where me and you know say one, we people are not they in the habit for work out with an ID, and 2, we know say for national ID right now in the country, it get question mark. So waiting and do in place where they know say then 2 things and in our country na problem. But we can dig deep. For now, make we look inside the COVID-19 status update for today. The labs then be analyzed 804 test them. You hear I'm back? 804 test them. Now in the labs then analyze. Me go tell you say, people festive season don't come. So a lot of people from the diaspora don't begin go. And if you check good this number, now from flights, mostly now they go come up from. But guess what? 0 positive case. That's good. 804 with 0 positive case. Kudos to we all. Make we see what in the other numbers then look like. Because of the 0, so we still team up at 2,416 people who don't test positive for COVID-19 nas alone. For the past 24 hours, nobody no lost in life to COVID-19, so we still stand at 74. The one them within isolation center na 502. For the past 24 hours, 2 people them beat COVID-19 nas alone. So that one they don't carry the total number of people who don't recover from COVID-19 to 1,840. In quarantine, 77. The one who don't discharge from quarantine, 12,189. Make we check Mano River Union countries them. For today, Sierra Leone 0, Guinea 24, Liberia 0, Ivory Coast 27, with a total number of 51 new cases at the Mano River Union countries them. For the cumulative death, still stands same like yesterday. Sierra Leone 74, Guinea 76, Liberia 83, and Ivory Coast 132, with a total number of 365 people lost their life to COVID-19 at the Mano River Union countries them. As I've been telling we earlier on, for say, Sierra Leone judiciary say, if you want for go na court, if you know say you get something for go do na court, you get case na court, make sure say you go with ID card. Because if you not go with an ID card, you not go enter the court. That was on the 27th of November 2020. I think Saturday I've been beginning up month param. But after the implementation on Monday, I think say we need for can lay this na table. Okay. Make I just read how the public notice been look like. It say public notice 27th day of November 2020. The public is hereby informed that effective 1st December 2020, only people them we produce valid identity card now then go allow for enter into the premise of the main law court building. Only people them come the 1st of December 2020. Only people them will produce valid identity card now then go allow for enter the main law court building in premises. Okay. It's a valid identity card include then where they can call so your passport, your national identity card, your voter's identity card, your driver's license, your university or your school identity card, your firm where you do work for that and for them lawyers, or your company where you do work for identity card, etc. etc. Now they don't address what in them call identity card. Law come now to the other one them. All the lawyer them then for use the front entrance by Saka Stevens Street and then for show a valid identity card or the farm where then they represent an identity card. And for the lawyer them, the clerk them. The clerk, the litigants, the press house staff, and other visitors to the court, they must use the main entrance by the State Avenue. And they put things in place so. Lawyer them, Saka Stevens Street. Visitor and all the other people them by State Avenue. Now that entrance they them for use. Press house staff will only be allowed into the court premises when they produce proof of accreditation. When me say, like say I network now, talk to the cabinet, if we say we get interest by one case, then say the case they come up to do one run go the we get for pass through the system na court for make we get accreditation first before we go then go allow we for enter the court building na Freetown. Okay. Now listen how it work. When you produce the valid identification, the security personnel within at the security post go all your identity card. That's what you use for identify yourself. The security go all them, it keep them, then it go exchange them for a valid court pass. So then they take your ID card from you, then they give you court pass. Now then they go grant you access into the court premises. At the end of the visits, where you don't done with you go pa, all court passes must be returned to the security personnel. You return them back, then the personnel go in turn give you your ID card where you be done left to them. They say clerks, litigants, press house staff, and other visitors are asked to be patient and to cooperate with the security personnel detailed at the post. The cooperation of all is deeply solicited. Signed, the Master and Registrar, High Court of Salone. Now this come from the Master and Registrar of the High Court of Salone. For say, in a country where we know say people they don't lack for workout ID, a lot of times, I mean, even when you do Salone, or you call post and say you get ID, most people in Sierra Leone not get ID. get something for do with somebody in a salon, say bring an ID. Few people go get the voter ID card, but trust me, that national ID card, yeah. But it go interest you for no say, this press release come out on the 27th. And then tell we say, then go begin the implementation on the 1st. And you know, stand at the 27th? The 27th was on a Friday. On a Friday, don't then say then go begin for implement them on Monday. When I see them first, I was like, okay, make I check the Judiciary of Sierra Leone, the official Facebook page, for verify saying that true. Where I go look the, guess what? No? You know, then at the official Facebook page, the Judiciary of Sierra Leone. You know, then at the official Facebook page. So with that, I begin for catch me head. Now they say they want for inform the public. From Friday, who's then Friday, the morning, late in the afternoon, late in the evening, for Monday. It go interest you for make yourself one for no say. Have they communicated with all the people that will get court case? Or then they wait for make people and waka come na court on Monday, don't they can't get them gin surprise, you know, they enter because what you do, you know, get ID card will be done pull press release. Or you be feel say then conduct say, you know what in, let's check everybody, we get court case, we forward all the information there to them people there. Because we do, we get away for make them no say then get for appear in a court or so and so at that time. So then for no say, then for bring the ID card when then they come on that day. Into so? You feel say then do that? Nayana salon. Then do it, yes. Then tell all man. Even me and you. It's sad say the service where we they do naya. Because anybody will be there listen, go don't know say even on Saturday we talk anaya. Say come Monday, then they begin for implement this. But who they give them free service when they pay for? I make could always tell you say share a network where Sierra Leone is never too far. Now in this. But oh yeah. La Hollande. Yeah? Let we listen through 98.1. How it be happen Monday when they start for implement this particular. I want to make you listen final. This particular no ID, no entry. Let we listen how they begin for implement them.
November 27 this year, the Judiciary of Salon been pull one press release na do. We say clerk, journalists, jurors, and other people where they go to court for show national ID card, passport, driver's ID card, and other thing them we go show who that's na you. And this process been start December 1st this year. For you in a lockout building where you reach, you get for join the line and wait sote you tem reach. And when you reach inside, you for show you ID card and the security them from G4S security agency go take the ID card na you hand, write your name and give you court pass, and finally you get access for go inside the court building. But in between this process, plenty things that may happen.
You see not so good for you. We don't know kaya. Give me officer about me ID card. You don't know about me ID card now. That's not give me ID card. All along this you talk to see. Thank you customer. Una give me ID card. Una give me ID card. Una say no.
That na voice of some jurors them. We may raise concern to themselves and the security people them. Usai then say most of them now we are say this process don't begin.
Our Hollande quick. This na jurors demo. We na the courts na in they appoint them people there for can help them for deal with cases them inside the court. So if jurors them, they tell we now say they not be even aware. They're not even aware say this thing get for begin na court on Monday. Who they again go claim say they aware? Jurors, where they help the courts for deal with cases, not aware. Who that again go say aware? Let's continue for listen.
From that point day, I may try for gonna do. But again, you get for hand over the pass where security them from G4S Security Agency give to you. We are rich na do. This na some of the concern them where people then raise.
We got today from some minutes to 8. Now I don't pass now almost 1 minute to 11. Up to now they do. And we get case. What we for say very important. Now 70 of you now redundancy case go for benefit of that in them. If you can't say it's very difficult actually. These people and they suffer.
Yeah, I mean from Kono come out.
Yeah, this man na Kono na they come out for can case na Freetown. From Kono, hey.
We get a case now, court number 8. But from this morning we'll come. They not tell you before say for bring ID card. We come then say law to law. Don't map na line now. They're not going for law do enter and say pass ID card. In fact, some of we now we don't even send upline. They don't take ID card snap and through WhatsApp and send her. We show them and say still no. That's an advantage. They really see but we will not really expect. We not correct.
After the concern here, I be talk to the public relation officer for the judiciary of Salone, Moses Lamin Kamara. We say this process now for make the law court left for overcrowd.
Obviously, we know say challenges then will day because now the first day today with the enforcer, but we equally want to believe say the content of the press release creates some level of flexibility.
Yeah, Moses say he no say challenges go day, but the content of the press release. So the press release, who side then release and force? Yes, we will get them, say and it will get them. But the people that we get for Canada, the courts, were they informed? According to what you just listen, you think say them informed there? If jurors, they complain, say they not tell them. Look that man we come out, Kono. He said they not tell her. He feel saying for make you identify himself. He say make them snap your ID. Because we know say people they know they're not sabi for workout ID in Sierra Leone. And they if you want where you go this month, go test. Anybody when I found this and that say can hope you will let but hope you possibly get ID day. No, they don't. For infill say na in your face they want identify. Say let them snapper. When they snapper, I don't know say not to that snapper no. They need a physical one because you get for exchange them. So I ain't go do that particular day. But Lord continue for listening because he said something interesting to me. Lord listen what Moses say.
Because when you take the wide range we take into consideration in terms of the ID cards, then we really accept. We know say we deal with each and every serious issues then if we enjoy the peace of the state, it is because his lordship, the Chief Justice, is working. So we don't want a situation outside people that will just come and go in the court system. Principally for security reasons. We feel say if anything happen where we don't get the ID cards, then we take the needed information. If anything happen, at least we get a point for investigate.
Moses Lamin Kamara carry on say the court will take action against anybody we go enter the court without ID card.
The Chief Justice is very proactive. If you watch all in developmental strive them, they're very proactive. Let's just catalog some of them. And watch at this building, you know say the building be there in a dilapidated shape, and you know say one way for create efficiency of labor for in judges there. Now for ensure say they're not in a courtroom outside they will begin find themselves, they feel with the work background they ought, and they reduce the efficiency of labor. So waiting do a renovate the courts then ensure say each and every law court, each and every courtroom gets AC. We don't say anybody where they get entrance legitimacy into the law court building, you forget a valid ID card. So if you come without ID card, then you have committed a crime.
There, you are here and find under on a mistake talk. Where you say if you come without ID card, then you don't commit a crime. If you enter without ID card, now you commit a crime, or if you come, you knock out ID card, now you commit a crime. Mr. Moses, sir, I think you mistake here now. You will need for correct and small. Yes, because if the person come it don't come with an ID, you don't say no ID, no entry. That's fine. For security reasons, sometimes we don't know what are the reasons. Okay, but how informed were those people? But for now, for say if person come without an ID, he don't commit a crime. I think you mistake, sir. If person will enter without an ID, he don't commit a crime. But I don't think say if person come without an ID, he commit a crime. I don't know how they do this talking now. Make a play and back lay yegi. Sometimes you go feel say na tiki like you want no more take things out of. Listen to him back.
Then you have committed a crime.
Moses Lamin Camara end up calling the public for go according to the measures them where the courts don't put in place. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Mina Usman Camara, the report.
One for tell Usman Camara thank you and Radio Democracy thank you when I told them me and you get for here it is. Hey, Salon. You hear the people then frustration from the jurors to the visitors. And Moses now they can't tell we say if you go there without an ID, you don't commit crime. Crime. Judge Kamara say no, na violation, not to crime. But if you go there without, then no entry. Not so. If you go there without, now no entry. Okay, if you fail when enter, well, Latin you and them, wanna go get something for deal with. If you fail when enter there. But now when they say if you go there without, na crime. I think say Yanda, he need for watch and back. He really need for watch him. But for Friday, for begin for implement this on Monday, it been correct? It been correct with jurors, then self for they come for help the courts. Then self say they don't be no. Then the people look the way come up or no. Why they not wait let them popularize them? Why they not make wait? You know, you go say, oh, okay, ignorant of the law is no excuse. Because waiting do even if they popularize and if they say 2 weeks, people then for still grumble this and that. But my dear, for Friday, for Monday, no. You're not correct. And by right, the court for contact everybody we get business for candy. Say, hey, things don't change. Monday. Would they begin for ask for ID so where they come? But even at that self, if person not be get ID, now Sunday and now Saturday and Sunday they go take her. They go take ID Saturday and Sunday. No. Now Saturday and Sunday go take. Let's say it not been get. Though you don't do and say Friday, late Friday for hosting for Saturday and Sunday. For though you say they start on Monday. No. For any reason they want to do it, I not get problem against doing it. Because now they Sabina then they like the court day, now they know waiting for security reasons, that's fine. But the timing, the implementation, the popularization of this particular thing for something where we know say we people and not they work out ID, or we know say we people and not even get ID first. Hey, then for Friday, for Monday. No. Make a call to Usfriend. Make we waiting na Usfriend intake on this. Yes, Usfriend, you get the platform, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Triple A, and thanks to all of listeners and viewers in here. And my own take regarding this High Court law. Well, not to a law. I think when they just try to put a kind of how do they call themselves? When they try to put a kind of a bylaw. All right, but the bylaw they try to put, and obviously it look constitutional, because when you look at the constitutional instrument, wouldn't they use the court for that section there? Because they get orders that is they get order 1 up to how many orders there. Every area, what if for do I for apply all those orders are there. I think in 1991 they amended really, but then get one owner from 1965. But then get one owner order 12. The order 12 talk about appearance. But that appearance, they mention anything regarding identification. If you even see inside and they ask about identification, a different section wherein I think saying I wouldn't serve you a kind of something, they serve you a bailiff or bailiff or other half thing them or for try identify you, say you, now the person we can give this bring this case if I complainer, or you then want na court. But usually the one that would involve in the case. Now the one then they say, okay, you address before match with the case. But that already there at the table of the judge or the one that we concern, the judicial them or the one that we concern inside the court itself, the body will make up the court. All those people that talk of the one that we can talk for you and the solicitors them, he talk of the jurors them, he talk of other people level, they as part of the court itself. But then always we don't get that information because for me you can apply in a court for a case, you name, address, and details and dating. So for learn now from the outside before you enter and put it in there, then before don't look at strategy, then before don't just kind of say, it not be like an ideology where look bias. In other words, an ideology wouldn't bring a look bias to the people. You see, in other words, then they cite security in no other way. Now in them they bring. But now then they try to bring about the health and ventilation. So you see that just excuse in terms of being biased for the ideology and they bring all this. But it come back to areas of how they were able to implement things in a salon. They always look at say it is always questionable. We don't get a new person where in charge of that area there, that department there. Only hope say that they will look into how they restructure. Then we don't make the place. If then we don't restructure them or they don't rehabilitate the world, we don't know. But that before don't be a way where them for don't make back space for the people that when they come. Now we not for noticing that this amount of people that we need, I remember one time, even more before I been mentioned, I remember that's how we see December and we don't begin to try for bring them few months ago. But the idea is how they go able to implement them just at a go. Where some of the people when the one there where they come for their own case, when the complainants them where they come for their own redundancy money, and I believe that most of them go meet up that case that did it. So in other words, they go with waiting actually the court order then they ask for. So if then they try for bring proposals when they bring inside this reformation, then before don't consult every individual them where they. If therefore not even see if not team will go work, but the team will go work, then if I don't know what they bring in go work, therefore don't know see people and get access to identification when an easy one and we're not even there, and we not get time span where you go wait for you go get your ID or for you go get your birth certificate or you go get this or you go get something who will identify you. So in the structure what they use for look at this here, I really say absolutely biased. Then they try for put guideposts them. For saying these are the guideposts then the guideposts they would then put now because of people in the crowd there. People in the crowd, so the ventilation not go there. Because of the dress, people in the dress inside, that not go fine for the people who they walk there. Because the judge and they dress this way, That everybody know. So obviously, then we don't bring that system there. Because I remember one time they send the place in the hot really. But I believe say we don't bring ventilation at some point. Because there was a time I remember again where even whenever we say the place is very hot inside because of the crowd. Certain time the inside March, certain time April, March now and they can hot. Because of the windows that wouldn't be built, the ventilation, they're not in favor of the wind where they blow. Because when they build a building, you have to know say east and they come on west in the rest. Then the breeze they blow between northeast and northwest. The breeze not they blow that way they go. So all those kind of things you get for put on the building. Because I remember even in the president once we go now pull up we go open that school with that man be sponsor, that lottery man for that lottery or something. He mentioned about that. I didn't clearly talk when the school hold the bill and so with the bill and let the window then go there in favor of the breeze for the blow, all those things. But some of these things they get for the overlook, I mean, therefore they know because instead don't be part of it. I'm not saying that in there for kind seconds suggest to, but these are the things we will say, oh no, that building there, not a so thing. Or if you don't know, the other people then will know. But all of the try for say no more say then therefore look if the building not be adequate for the way breeze they go inside ventilation and the size of her and the floors they wouldn't get and the courtroom they wouldn't get, then therefore see and try for decentralize most of them thing they are let people are not come up no and put for can case or una buildings them we go accommodate if not that one day and una find another place for build something for accommodate so that the convenience of people the transportation then we don't spend that and then time then we don't spend that. Then some myself no go bother for each morning at 8 o'clock for what they go just don't rush you go. All those kind of things, it cause more stress in people. Plus, you will not eat in the morning until if you go collapse, the other thing happens. What about that? So all those kind of things, you come to the area where they use the guideposts, they wouldn't they put the guideposts therefore be fair enough to the one they would they walk in between them. So you know will just be crooked one way you get for bend so you bend so you bend so. By the time you reach, you don't tire. Then I just be guideposts. When they show you say yeah, now so if you pass, now so if you pass, just like somebody navigate na see. Then they show you say yeah, na place where dangerous, then na place where they so you walk in between. So those are the ideology we are basically going able for bring so that they go able help the people. But now they don't put them down. But who they go get for questioning? They don't put as a law in a part of the order. Or not just a proposal, but this is not a proposal because I think we don't put in practice. But I believe, say, the judiciary really gets a lot of information what they still get for doing in that country for them to be able to meet the people and demand for the law. Because the people and demand for the law, if find an injustice, they are denied justice. Then I kind of way for deny justice in a very clever way. Because the man go for like go appear for a case, then deny access for enter. Because of why? Because of the laws they would have been say the don't put, the man don't understand them. But the man don't understand them because of the way we would have passed the message. We would have passed the message for people that would some of them are the media. But the media they will not give, not the media who everybody they take. Not all man they buy newspaper. Not all man get access to but putting them will not pass the information through. Una before don't broadcast them over and over, go to different languages and broadcast them. Una go na all the media, the mainstream media then. Una try no say the people that don't get now. Una survey for say the people that don't get the message before una put it in practice. But again, it comes to other things that will be happen. After they put all this fear. It's a game where they play on a fear. When they don't bring, I believe it's something to do with people and they go there, they go access team, then they come out and they able go inside. But it all comes to the discipline where they been get inside the court. Because if person come out, he walk right inside court, he go get information there. What you don't need to get information, or you go do something you don't need for do they come back. Not a bad thing will cause immediately, but now information you go pull, so they go use that for that, or then go tell us, I saw this case bill, well, I saw and so you get for do. So all those kind of things they come up. Because for that, I think they wouldn't go now, they bring up those cases where they make a meeting, how confidentiality get for work. With case they inside, una would at the panel or whatever they did, now una get for keep them. The case will come when the case come. But let the case not come out before he not can accord it. So these are all the fear, panic, what they get. What they say now because of air. Not because of the air. The case they wouldn't be don't get that when they load and they full up there. I mean, then they overcrowd there. Nobody no one day for don't they for say he panic or one day for say he faints because of suffocation. It not ever happen. But all these kind of things are panic because of certain reasons and some sensitive cases and they come up. But all those kind of things, it come to how then they apply. Like how una go una survey, una see say this will fit the people or all man will able access identification, or all man get identification. Una still know say that they can register people, then they fetch for register people. Next, then they fetch for get information from the national statistics. The national statistics they fetch for get the instrument for use this registration. So all these kind of things they did. So the coordination of the day. So all is about biasness, and I only hope say them were able to think twice if they therefore leave a window of for say them will be flexible for the time being. Let them try to, even though the message will go now, but yes, still enough fair enough. Now justice then denied to the people them. And that one they not fair. Now we know but would have go enough for them and talk the case, nobody, because the end they won't get for talking the case, I don't say you know for kind side. But it's totally injustice. For let you vote for them and go talk the case, they say commodity. I only hope Sister Alone will try to restructure. There is a lot of things for people in the software and that. Thank you very much. I'm your take for tonight.
Thank you very much, friend.
Yeah. You're most welcome, sir. God bless.
Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make we out Dr. Aisatuka Kejalo. Make we hear waiting you get for it today. Yes, doctor, you get the platform.
Yes, hi. Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody did do well. And first of all, I want to say yesterday I missed the program, because, I teach on Wednesdays. So Wednesdays during the school year, I would not be there, but sometimes I might. That said, now good thing will happen with the discussion yesterday. Really, I want for really, because I listened to the program today. With the hope say everybody, try for holding Mutkada well and try for clean the country, and let them be fair in how then they distribute them vehicles them. If we get 16 districts, then for ensure say each district get at least 2. The remaining can left for Freetown. Let them be fair and understand. Say waiting then can also the capital city no more than get for focus on the provinces as well. So now waiting me they think, and I'm sure many people then with what they work with. Mutkadem give their own recommendations as to how people then will try for work with the government and work with the city council as well as the Russians for waiting then they don't do for the country. I'm sure a lot of help can come at the country. We hope say, as they help then the council, everybody go try for come on board and learn what you will learn, the skills that we will learn, and also you use that skills in that way. We're not going for the always they depend on, foreign aid. Now that I be one for safe, even though it's not the topic for today, but I feel saying that's something I be one touch on. Now, as for the topic where they go on today, definitely I got to look at both the pros and the cons here. What to make them want to put these measures them in place? What's are the advantage? What's are some of the disadvantages? But I don't think there's much disadvantage. I think there's more advantage we can to identification. We can to being in the law court. I want to start with the person will come on a corner, say then in come for become a jury, right? And come with ID. For me, really that not responsible as a citizen of a nation. Law be real, law be factual. How you go left corner, that district is very far, from the capital city. For say get no identification for come with you a law court. Anyhow it be, when they send you a jury's letter or jury notification, I'm sure that jury letter or notification they indicate you need for bring this form of ID, a proof say you not a Sierra Leonean, they don't invite you as well as that on letter day. So if the person not do that, and I'm just sorry to say that was not what any citizen would do.
I want only that quick, because
yes.
The person from Konono is not a juror. The person from Konono not a juror. The juror then now first talk, where they give their own consent, say they not be tell them. Then the person from Konono kissing counsel.
In like a plaintiff or a defendant?
I don't know.
Okay. Either way, let's say they're not a jury. Fine. But if you are a jury, you need to bring in identification to verify that you are a Sierra Leonean, because you have to be a citizen to serve on a jury. And we always and don't invite a jury now America. We know say now a process. Sometimes they go, they not even select you for be part of the jury. For so many different reasons. Not to say they not invite you. They don't summon you for let you serve. part of your civic responsibility and duty. But I'm saying you coming from that distance to the capital city, no matter what it is, you should have even a national identification card. Nobody is saying that you should have a driver's license. All they're saying is that you should have an identification, to enter into the law court. And now for safety reason, I'll say this, because think about the judge or the juries them, where probably then get for deal with a murder case, where then get for vote on somebody who don't commit a crime, right? And then you get somebody who Canada law court on around the premises. They don't get no high security going on in there. Now people then life they at risk. People then go to work out with weapons just because maybe they don't the verdict was not for them, then they're gonna commit a crime. People might lose their life. Well, having high security in those kind of places, now the way to go. Maybe the one thing though, I want to agree with you where you be the giddy presentation or like the topic where you talk about it. The timing, if you want to implement such things, right, you get for give time to the general public. But what thing I feel say must maybe don't happen, then don't send out notification to people that where they work within the law court, and forget say not to just the staff or the lawyers them or the judges them get for deal with this on a daily basis. People then back get for the Canada law court, either because they have a family member who is on trial, or because they're not a jury, or they're not just a witness, right? So if then they send any information there to those people, I'm sure maybe the letters might state exactly what you need, the type of identification where you need for bring now the law court. But when you come to the law court, and this should have been in place. If it wasn't in place, I question our security in the country. I question how laws are put in the country, because somebody in life, either the judge or the jury, will sit on there because the family members might have been seeing this case. Maybe the trial has been going on for days, and then to find out, say, well, they're gonna sentence you or they don't convict this person, and they already probably have plans. And we've seen this happen in different countries, and we don't want things like that to happen. So if the new person, whether in charge of with justice system feels say now something we will for implement, yes, we have to implement it, right? When you enter in the federal buildings or when you enter in any state building, you have to have proof of identification. And one thing where I believe, I think Mr. Moses did talk, maybe he misspoken, I would have to say, for say, now crime. I think what he try for say, in my own view and my perspective in this, I feel say, what thing they try for do, you get for present you ID card, then verify the ID card, give you a pass. You know what I mean? So then you hold on to your ID card and not give you, because you need to get it back, right? So they have certain security systems. We all see what the answer some of them.
I want to hold you on that quick. I'll make you explain that what you say you feel say, because I try to explain that you they exchange your ID for the court pass. Then they hold them, you go inside court, you they left unto them. When you don't done, whatever you they do inside court, you come back. Where they exit, you can hand over the court pass, then give you the ID, your ID again where you left to them.
Well, and that's really it's not supposed to be the process if that's what they want to do, because what they're doing there, so they say where the person come, he can't come back in that line. Now waste of research, now waste of time. I don't agree with that part there as well. But what I do agree with, then for present the ID, then for give them a pass, because the ID then even scan them. Because now most IDs should have a barcode that you can scan. It's already gonna pull this person, information, every address.
Hey,
if you're not on that.
Doctor left no.
No, I know you left today because the point I try for make here. Well, okay, why are you saying that left? Because
no,
I'm
because
really
you talk about
ID
should have a barcode and scan, and we don't even have a database. They don't even give ID rights now in Sierra Leone.
Why wouldn't they have these things in the law court. We're talking about the
Okay.
the judiciary department. Those are questions. If they don't have it, they have to put those things in place first. That's number one. And number two, for say they give ID now the country, people do not make them a priority. Say they need to get a national identification card. Right? So if this now one of the ways one of the steps for that people then begin to get ID card in the country, within that ID card they will begin to get numbers then we attached to the name saying that this not the person. So as we always want to get database, but these are some of the steps that we'll get for begin to take for a lot of people to understand say it's important for that you get a national identification card, even if you don't get passport. Or if you get a national identification card. We neighboring country, Guinea, right? Get down there many years back, so and that now one thing, sometimes we do make certain excuses for people in the country. I think it's about time we start making our fellow Sierra Leoneans understand that, we are in the 21st century. Some of these things have to be put in place. Right? So I'm on a different page today, but there's a reason why I'm on a different page, because these are security reasons. Somebody could die because somebody is on a trial and there's a weapon just waiting outside to shoot somebody, and we don't want to have that. And when that happens, chaos will take place. And I don't feel what thing that they do is wrong, but what thing the timing is wrong. The timing definitely is wrong. They should have given them enough time for these things to be in place. And if people that not get ID card in the country, I think it's about time that they begin to get ID card for everything. Now let them begin to present their ID, and that way you can reduce crime, and that way you can begin to see who that they do what and what now. And even when they talk about some things that work in Canada country, but some people that not get ID, we see when they go now then they ask them so many different questions, and then they say, oh well, you're not qualified. And this was with the COVID-19, not long ago, right? Well, if you get national ID, it gets you address, you get certain things where identify saying now you. Too many questions would not be there. So we need to really put these things in place, and we need to talk to the people on ground that this is important. And even when public school, where you're going to a public school, if you like, picking and they go school, when I go there, I have to show an ID. I don't enter the building, right? That's just a school. It's just a school, but I don't have problem because I know they left me host. I don't work out with ID. If I don't work out with me passport, I don't work out with anything but me driver's license. Okay, which the same way in New York State, you don't have to just have if you don't want a driver's license, you don't need it. Then you just get a state ID, right? And it's also valid. Sometimes not the same number. Even if you get a driver's license, they just upgrade it to a different category or class. So now that's all me get for say. I want to say, like, these are things that are security measures, and we should take it very seriously, right? Because we don't see people then die because of them kind of stuff they are. So I just left Andy. Thank you. Good night.
All right. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do next week. We'll go send the camera for make the camera work at all. Simple question. We could ask people them, who that get ID, who that not get ID. We're going to do that next week. Let's just find, maybe you interview women and men and see who that get ID, which kind of ID we then get. That will make that one day simple for us. Yes, Tony, you get the platform. What's in your young contribution?
Yeah, yes, Abraham, a very good thing. Me no go object, just like if you say me you on the right side or on the same side, wherein we no go object. But again, I want to draw your attention Like we know exactly how our system they operate, especially when it comes to identification or identity card way, because they get their own specific identification. The way they look for is not just ordinary membership identification card, and not to just like you get one you club or you join, we go take that membership card, they go show them something way authentic way. Like so basically, if they ask you for your identification, most probably the preferred one you want now you driving license. And any other one now, like mass associate, if you not get driving license, you get you mass ID. When you mass associate ID card, you understand that self go substitute. But in the situation of Sierra Leone, now we look your own context, we look at when you go the process for make you get ID card, you get for ask yourself first. If the place operating, are they giving ID cards? If people want ID card, can they get it? Like how would they get an IR? Even IR 7, they tell you 7 to 10 days, not prompt. They can't just give you go today, you get on today, especially when you get all this COVID thing where they go on right now. You understand? You have for book appointments and everything, not just walk in and get your ID card. So you look at all the institutions and they will prevail, especially for Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is not like abroad. You understand? Where everything, like one-stop shop, you go here, you get everything. The time where it takes for you to get an ID card in Sierra Leone, probably within a month. And the reason why I make a say a month because you get forget Gukam. You go to it and tell you say the person with the issue the ID card, no day you get buried. Or the person with the way for sign this in all kinds or a day seminar or a day conference. The old way we system there is all that bottleneck situation where you can't have everything done at one go. You understand? You get for everything, So they should have given them that kind of that leverage, that time frame. Say, okay, we want to let get ID card. This is not the norms. People coming into the court for get them. It's a good thing. It's not only it's not only that. Even that's in the way we work where people can win prizes. So many times you get for come and identify yourself with because if you say you don't win a prize, you get for come with a valid ID card. We will know say yes, this na Tony. Now in this na ID card is authentic. You understand, eh? When there are times people then go kind of test, I don't get ID card. People are coming with voters ID card. And some areas they don't accept voters ID card. Some are going to say, wait, vote they lost an ID card. You don't get ID card. You get bank ID card. How many people in a salon will get ID card? How many people in a salon get NASIT card? How many people in the way get? So you look at all the old processes, not like say, now in norm way, now in general practice way, people for the workout ID card. So many times now people don't know the ID card, just like you likely say. So they should have drive it. You understand? They should have drive it, give them some time, say, okay, in the next, by January, you understand? There's nothing rushed. If all this while they've been doing it the same way, nobody not die, nobody not this, because they get issues, okay, because of congestion or because of they want for preserve certain things and they want for make sure see they know the people the way they can. They should have used the same time. 1 month, not much. Use this December and say, okay, now when you come January, you understand? Even ESSF, now so then they do. Let me apartments where are they? When at times if they want for change, the garage get for close or something, then they put dates. You say from the 20th to 2024 to so day. Even when they do road repairs, maintenance, you go see them ahead. Say from the 20 something, this road go block because they're going to do road maintenance. They give them time. They give you allowance for make you plan yourself. You know, don't come up, you can't fit song. You understand, eh? You don't travel 217 miles, you reach Fruit or come do something that says, oh, no, you know, get ID card. You understand? They should have given them the people the time. Give them time. Now me on check that. Nothing bad, not even the law cost. So many buildings and the way we get in that country. Even you building, for example. When you go you building, you see the mass of exodus. People every day they go up and don't come up, this and that. No proper identification. How will you identify some of those people? It just happened for say we Sierra Leonean we like a saints because so many things that we don't know how country people and they go free with. They happen. Bokusa, even Nigeria. I have a Nigerian friends where we discuss certain things and know what we do. They say I don't know if Sierra Leoneans are saints or they don't know how to steal. Something that they see in Nigeria where they happen daytime robbery, this and that, blah blah blah. They happen as Salon. You understand? We're still a peaceful nation. We're still a peaceful nation where certain things that we are just assumption. People can just assume because it happened here, it happened at Salon. No, we not reach certain level. Certain level and they will Sierra Leone and they will talk. We not say some people they suffer. There's that resilience where people they in hardship, people they this. But you see, hope people just say God day. We still believe in God, even though few things and the way they happen way negative. So they should have given them time. That I mean take. Give them time, let people then plan themselves, because the inconvenience is much right now. They can't just sit down at the office, they make proposal or they make say, okay, by Monday, so, Friday to Monday. It's too much. It's too short. The time too short. The time frame no give people them make them able to adjust and able to do something. That's not me take, bro.
Thank you very much, Tony.
You're welcome, bro.
I want to say thanks to Tony, thanks to Doctor, and thanks to Uswen for the submission. No identification, no entry at the Lockout building. Yes, caller, are you live on here? You name and side call from, please.
Yeah, hello, me?
Yes, I get 3 minutes, sir.
Yeah, PSG. Today
yes, PSG, get 3 minutes.
I want to quick.
Yeah.
Okay, first and foremost, thank you very much for giving the platform. Then this ID card business, I'm glad to go work out. It's very important. Maybe it don't affect me. But first of all, I want to know, brother, this identity card, the issue on salary right now or not?
I'm not going to get an answer right now because the answer when we go tell you, I go say no. But some people say
yes or no.
it take time, but then they give. But
Okay,
most people you go
first
ask
of all.
say no, they're not the give.
Okay, they're not the give because the reason is, brother, miss this to the one I mean, another than you. This go always and go and village to I come. I didn't change my address from village to Paris here. When I came newly 7 years ago, now my identity card now give them as identification. So they say that they want identification for shooting salon come out. Now give them now the immigration. This identity card they for 2 copy and the whole. Then get them, Mr. Get. We expire, they asking for a new one. I don't travel go to over 3 times now. I don't go by identity card, nothing. I don't tell them people there. Anytime I go for go change me document, they ask for ID card. And the problem is, okay, no problem with that. Number 2, let me at the talk. If the government is listing, are they big there for God? This ID card is very important. Let them give people they're very important. We now they call and cut the identity. Yeah, any party you go na France, you no get identity card. Of course, we now all live under the Americans, the Australians, Europeans, they ask for identity card. That driver license na France, they didn't allow. That driver license not here for sure them. Now so offices. They didn't allow. The only people that allow driving license are police. If you don't go stop somewhere, they ask you for late pass. You should have the driving license, then the whole lot, then they do allow for pass. But you go to the post for collect letter. You give them, they the whole lot. At all, they want the identity card. We don't ask for identity card identity or card issue, not give them. They don't look yourself. The business, all the stock. You are the big government and give them. And this thing, like our doctor talk, this identity card is very important for identification. It's very, very important in any country. And they bring the government to a list to let them try to make this process. This, in fact, this identity card for me important past the bridge. And the bridge once I went along, but this is important past everything for us. Made them do this identity card. Made them do it's very, very important. Do you remember the big them made them do? Then number 3, this identity card, the last time I send money, I send my brother for collector with damn system picking. When you go to the bank, the money they pass 4 days, then say pass the identity card. When you pull your identity card, they say nothing. Now you pull a voter ID card, they give. So that voter ID card not to all banks they all up, and then below there, where they give money go always to then they allow. Pass where the money they pass 4 days, I call the bank, I get most of the banks under the phone numbers, Bo, McKinney, Freetown, Kenny, Magenta. Any password send something for the business for me. Pastor call the bank, I talk with them, they get me voice before they allow the bobo, they select out in paper where you sit to ask with, then get some people where they want. Then they allow for they take their money. It really put me off. They are very important. Let them give students now we say for them one time and they come I go the park. We say go for salon very soon for this identity card. Maybe try make 24, please. Then the last one, I want to tell me the panelists they say, me no worry. PhD standby at the camp for bombard. At the camp heavy Saturday by the grace of God. Tomorrow back at Islam, with me pen and paper, I just put your jot number back. Added to go get. They are going to propose I go for couch back Saturday. Well, I know see you with Mr. Triple A and this guy now Mike now America go support and other people. Way for do for that country. I get to that team about the face come back for added to the hours I get by God in past Saturday. So go see Saturday by grace of God. So tomorrow I go for the studies. I know this travel this week I passed after this Saturday. Well, we don't bombard now. That I know Mike then for give support for that and others. So thank you very much for giving
Thank you very much, PSG.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, caller, you live on here. You name and side the call from, please.
Yeah, man, Patrick.
Yes, Patrick, you get 3 minutes, sir.
Yeah, it's good that PSG don't come back. You make it a hyper week. Well, what me want to say, good thing. Everybody knows that security is very important in our country, Even here what we did, there's any federal building or state building we they enter, some of them they're asking for ID cards, some of them they ask you, but you go make security checkpoint where they search you or you take you back before you go through the metal detector, especially when you go now any court building now America, They're not gonna ask you for ID, but you must go through that security with yourself there. But the only thing me as everybody is saying, what you really talk about, the way that they treat people that are that country, they're not fine. They take me for granted. You will just make something today that you report on tomorrow. They say they put press release. Who side they pass the press release? They get media houses there. AYB, the 98.1 day, they don't make commercial for announcer give people they say na so. Even if na inside this year self they want do, they will give people that let's say a week or in December December so the 10 or the 15 or this. Then after, but we just talk release no more, if they don't announce on a radio or if they announce on a radio, say, but which radio? They're not for the take people there for granted. And Sierra will not custom with ID card business. You see that French country there, almost of all the French country there. From the one, they don't use to ID card because when they work inside any French country or French city, then they let's say passe or card d'identité. That's what the police they harass you. Abidjan, Guinea, Senegal, because they don't from the one, I think from the independence step, they don't begin the discipline them for that. But people they will not used to it. Even the English country themselves, now few where they harass people themselves for ID card, men are the Gambia. But Ghana, Nigeria, they not they harass you that much for ID card. Sierra Leone, no, they not they harass you. They not the but then French country, where the workers, they harass you, the police them, because you don't say you don't get card identity with you don't suffer. At least that 1,000 francs or 2,000 francs must come inside. Especially in Abidjan. If they harass you and you foreigner, you can't you don't get your paper, you don't suffer. So it will not custom to that. And they just can't pass the law. ID card office, the way. But the ID card is very important because any building where you go, as somebody mentioned, as Tony, that you building, look them people there. People that just go. Even, we are speak to the all that big government building that the way they enter, at least security post for them. If it's not, check you what you can do, you can't visit. Or whether you can't do, what you name on this and that, I'll show you ID. They're not saying that. So if they record it, I see Dr. Man stretch himself over that. If forget that we have to follow with data and all the work talking about let they scan you, let they do computer, they go put up. They're not only for stretching but salon problem. And I don't need that for tonight.
Thank you very much, Patrick. Yes, caller, ID live on here. You name and side the call from, please.
Yeah, they call from Maryland. Mina Usman Mansari.
Yes, Usman. You get 3 minutes, sir. Waiting your contribution.
For me, this problem we they are done put right now, I go say now wickedness and they do to the citizens. When they go ask for form of identification for enter lockout. Can you imagine? When they ask what if you get ID card? ID card not in the country before even APC left. Say where then come so 30 day ID card not in. This now a serious problem at the country until you fall to that certain situation at the country. Now wickedness this now wickedness. Imagine the only person you then sell them forward on a court in a court. You go for go bail, you know get ID card. And for bail, not to something way you go ask anybody, I can't go, you get ID card, can't go help me for bail somebody. Some family they don't nobody no get ID card. They don't get ID card.
Even the voters' ID card, when 9 then they use, plenty of them they use, but could not get not all man the vote. Now wickedness is, they not even think about it and just go put law, they go impose on per people. Then politicians and a salon, they're not responsible at all. Now wicked people. This guy for affect Baku people. It get for affect Baku people. Especially this one tell you so this bail. They hold somebody in a Kisi police, Eastern police, any side and get for forward and a court. You go for bail you person. If you go in no get ID card, waiting that happen, you person a Palemba road, you don't go so. Then people are not think about that. And for go bail person, not so something you go meet person, no more say, you got ID card, can't go bail for me person. No. You pick yourself for bail and thing way very, very delicate because I don't see you say in Papa go bail picking, you end up the Papa go end up for go 1 week now. Palemba because the picking careless he balance. That's serious thing this. They don't even think about anything and they're not responsible with politicians na saloon. This ID card on there for decades. ID card problem na saloon. If you see them where APC been come, the mistake by that machine, I see that machine well, it's done, that's it. So today, ID card no dey. And when you go around, you send money for person. Where person go for go take that money, if you not get ID card, then they look am. The person go with and the voter's ID card back. If you fail small, then they say this, this not fake one. I don't fall into that situation indeed. Now serious problem. I swear to God. Any kind way you for do like where you get that comedian and do I make let them do this. I beg because now very very good thing you do so. This nothing I don't think about that from a day salon, and we still get the problem. The politicians they not just care about that department. I don't know or that area they not just care about that.
Thank you very much.
This is a serious problem. Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, caller, I did live on here. Your name and who the call from, please.
Yeah, this is Momo. A call from Fago.
Yes, Momo, you get 3 minutes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. This ID card is not a good thing. Nobody no go there against that. I believe that. But just like how you start, the timing wouldn't come down. How do you go give the whole nation a notice for let everybody get an ID card for 3 days? The system not there. We are not prepared. The system say somebody can walk in an hour and get an ID card and go back home. So this ordinance reason make them do this. Because if you remember that particular Monday day, there was a person when a very high state person will get caught during that day. And before that day, rumors began to go around. People really talk about demonstration and this, a lot of big people or high class people. So this fear bring this problem. Because there is no reasonable way we can go just grab these people say in 3 days time, everybody for go get an ID card. And you know how many people, hundreds of people will get court cases them. They know exactly. So how you expect for them to will get an ID where they know the system is not there for them to go get an ID. This is not reason and doing, but whatever reason we then get, this is bad. This is bad. Now this is a cause problem not alone. The way something happen and then go blame the people when they think back, like when they think better, saying that they cause this because if not they push people in so much, and try for deprive with people them. Nobody know they're against it, nobody don't forget ID card. That it will be even a good thing. But the government therefore don't set up a system where you citizens say if I don't get ID card, if I go outside I don't go get access. Therefore don't set up a system for that. Then say all for them they say starting from 6 months, give people in 3, 4, 5 months. Notice the council say now we can begin to implement ID cards. If you don't get ID card, not going to be enter this building. So people can prepare for that. But this one are for just for intimidate people and seize with people like with people that right, for do things. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Momo. Yes, call ID live on here. Your name and who the call from, please.
Yeah, I had a call from Ohio. How are you, pa?
Good, you get 3 minutes, sir.
Oh, it's the full clever man. Man, that country day, I got help with. Let me just give a short story. If you this is just say go na road transport, one guy with the whole play. I mean, nah. we started the issue analyzing them. So I've been working study for a couple of times while graduating on graphic designs, but unfortunately they be sacked because of this COVID-19. So I began one man who I be sent to a day for this national ID card. AAA, the cost of the printing machine with the ribbon, the machine cost you $2,000. Now you brand new one. If the one, they can tell you how many cards you want to produce. So we did 680 cards for one product, I got 20,000 cards. Okay, for the month, 20,000 cards for the month. My brother. So $2,000. If they buy the ribbon, $270. Well, each ribbon, if they produce 500 cards. I want to say 500 cards, 5,000 cards, the ribbon. So we'll go inquire and say, if the government level police ID card, one kind of the partnership will provide the materials for the issue a national ID card. Standard or what they get the barcode. And they put barcode panel, they don't swipe information, everything they make. My brother, is that what they ask me? One Monday they say, if you get a party ID card, if you get a party ID card, I swear to my God, this net was actually about what class does. That's what the team off. The ID card, my wife gets me an ID card. I say, let's go to the ID card. You know, you want to go take money, they say the ID card will expire. Passport, cyber, all possible needs to take for a passport. They say, on the ID card, they say everything only the machine on point, so nothing not able to make again. I say, my God, I say the ID card, they don't follow decentralize themselves. Why government will spend $20,000 each district get a machine? Simple thing. My brother, ID card machine is very cheap. Very cheap. Then they take $1 million, $2 million. Why don't they buy 10 machines? 11 at each district headquarters or each district town. Then guys there. My brother. So now the contract void. If I don't produce ID card header, I'm telling you. For don't produce card, if I don't buy the materials, I send to the guys them, then they produce the ID card. Then they say we forgot a party ID card. Indeed, we don't have it. My brother, that's what it's here. Let me know something anymore.
Thank you very much, caller.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Yes, caller, you there live on air. You name and side the call from, please. Yes, I get 3 minutes, sir.
Okay, this is Ibrahim. I call from Maryland. Thank you, brother, for giving me a platform. Always at the pray, let God continue to elevate you and give strength. What you do for we at this platform, not only Allah give for you will bless you. For try for connect with and know what they go on a salon. If I know you will listen, try and talk for you, they don't feel good. Straight to the point, the ideas of the ID cards is very important. If for be nationwide, not for business or pass attend court. But the timing is very short. Me, I the suspect until say this ID card issue where then say if forget them before he attend court. I stand to be corrected. Maybe because of them get some high political people who get for attend court right now, who they know say but people get for go support them in solidarity. So now I make them call them ID card issue there. I don't know. Then I want to ask question, what they say forget ID card. What about the prisoners there who get for can't attend court? Are they gonna provide ID cards too? In principle way? You get any answer of that?
I don't think so. Because until then they didn't have their own custody. So I don't think say the prisoner then go provide ID.
Okay. You know the culture of we people in Sierra Leone no value ID card, even the voters ID card. Could you imagine me brother then they I want send for your money, say don't lose your ID card. When a student to have vex partner, I say we no value, I don't know the importance of ID cards. Even your school ID card, you not get her. Your voter ID card, you not get her. So this is the problem. If no more than give enough time, at least 1 month, the sensitize people learn, it would be nice. If somebody get for who testify as a witness, he go na court, he say he not get ID card, he know he will attend. How they get for call that person in case? If that day time get for be them for don't bail that person, they they bail because the witness will get for who testify, they get ID card. So they get for go the person back. So when they give people in time, the idea is very good, but the timing, Naomi not accept. Thank you very much. I hope say they go able to try for sensitize people, let people understand. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yes, caller, you live on air. Your name and side the call from, please.
Hello, AAA. This is Dave. I call from Virginia.
You get 3 minutes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you much. Good evening to all the listeners. Triple A, I get four very short points I want to make. I think, say, for one, we dey misunderstand wetin na the point of contention na ya. I think, say, forget an ID, all man they agree say that is definitely needed all around the world. You definitely need them. But for require somebody an ID before they go inside court, I think say that one day no, me I not dey in agreement with that. I not see no court, even within I don't dey in a different states them. No court no dey way they say before you dey enter, pass you produce an ID. I haven't seen it. Now I make I mean they ask, Usai na any side when they ask you for ID. Yes, then go scan you, then go pat you down for make sure say you not bring weapon or phone or anything where the court not they allow. But for say then they ask you for ID, no, me no ever see am it. Because again, the courts na place where all man they go for make it get justice. Some man go just one go there for experience, like it just one go sit down and observe how court proceedings and they happen. If you can require that person they forget an ID, where the ID then they make themselves inside salon, like how would they understand now? What do you expect? The second point I want to make is this law with a non-camp pass, so there be debate in a parliament. This now a law where they apply in the whole country. Was it just one person's decision for make a just come and say, you know what, today I need ID for let you go inside court? Shouldn't it have been debated at parliament, then pass them, then they send that communication to the district officers, them, send them down to the paramount chief, them, and send them to everybody for no? Not to Freetown no more as alone. We then go say, okay, waiting, look, apply to Freetown, and they for just go all around the country. To the best of my knowledge, I don't think they debate this thing in parliament. Why? Then the other point I want to make is, if the government don't come, then don't can increase the cost on all the vital records them, whether I'm married now, whether I'm birth certificate, or they don't can increase all the prices on that. And I'm listening to another program where apparently the people them where they come, then get tax waivers. Then waive all the taxes to the people where they come for build, for begin issue them birth certificate there. But at the same time, they increase the amount of waiting people there for use for purchase the for buy the birth certificate. Like how does that make sense? You waive for the person for come for let it print. But then you pass that same charges there. I mean, you go back and increase the charges on your own people. Them. How does it make sense? And me on final point why they make, the reason probably waiting make beaucoup people in a salon they use the voter ID as the form of identification. Now because now in the politicians they make available to them. And way that one they get for do with their own politics, whether na APC or SLPP, they make them available to the people. When election time they come, I don't care how much that voter registration card machine cost. Those people then go buy them in multiples, then go all around and sensitize people then for go get voter ID. Voter ID card. So why they not go do the same thing now? If they want can pass law for say an ID is required for go into the courts, why they not do a mass campaign of the whole country, make those IDs available to the masses at an affordable price. Then after you go say, okay, after this 1 year, when we don't distribute all the idea, if you don't get ID, you don't go access no side. Again, my point what they try for make, like me, so nobody know they against for law get the ID. But for require an ID for go inside court, which is a public building, that ID they provide much security. Now for just identify you. If somebody gets a gun, you make more preference on somebody for provide an ID than for search and for see if you get weapon or not. That ID will not provide anything. That person go don't cause in damage or go don't cause before they look for the ID safe. You know what I mean? So we are okay with ID for user, but for require them for going to court, in order to protect you, it will just identify you. And I don't think say it's right for the layman, for the ordinary man, we're not able to afford ID card for make the request and for make you get ID card for going to court. I mean, yeah, and thank you so much and thanks to the listeners. But that was the point again.
Okay.
That will not change too much.
Thank you
ID
very
for
much.
go inside court. ID for go inside court. That's not the problem. We all know say important. But thank you, boss.
Thank you, Dave. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, caller, are live on here? Your name and who side they call from?
They call from Grace, and my name is.
Yeah, you can speak up small.
Concerning,
you get 3 minutes.
Okay. Concerning the ID cards, it's very important for not to just court no more. Every Sierra Leonean or with any other foreigner forget Sierra Leone ID card, when are the identity card, when are the national ID card. Every Sierra Leonean or anybody within a salon forget. Whether he come up from anywhere in the world, only the one within the Mano River Union or the ECOWAS, then they own valid. I don't know how they will put, but they own valid. They forget their own ID card, then country ID card. Is very important. Whether is a law or not, that go identify the criminals them. Post we get bad record. Some man a criminal. Some man they chuk. He go enter a court, for example. He don't dey in the habit for chuk. They know him. We get popular criminal that they know. As soon as in carry another area dey, you go able know say this man, he name himself as the police say him because na people them. We na high record criminal them. So you go know say this person a criminal, which can they will interrogate him. Although the timing we then give is very short, but it's very important, like we government don't stand as so. Every individual, every Sierra Leonean, or anybody with they stay in a salon forget national ID card. It's very important. Not for security, everything so far. Which man country? You can live there, no get ID card, but we see police they hide. But the way they hold you, na problem for you. They go na station or na jail. And wetin make back police then, sometimes when they say coffee, for example, where they see person in a street pass them Peter. Now because of this ID card, if you know, for example, you know put face masks, you dey pay 500,000. If police you no need for only arrest you. They just take the ID card because you know say get for renewal. You wait save the 500,000. Where you go, the day we go for renewal, you dey pay 500,000. Or they say if you not pay, then put something fine. If you not pay 1 month, it go to it add. Every day they add. So that go make you go pay quick. Or if you not pay, they tell you to go for go change. They go take up they go take that money, they pay that money before you change the ID card. That fine day. Or if the balance, they will only they know say they go to jail for that. Now so if will be they at least lawlessness go better. That's why they go know than a Sierra Leonean. Yeah, they go know than a foreigner. It's very important for everybody in a salon. If you get voter ID card, it's very important. You get any forms of ID card, voter ID cards, student ID card, when a valid one, when a from the school, college ID card. If you get to do any other thing, but then national ID card very important. Yeah, I mean own contribution.
Thank you very much, caller. Yes, caller, you're live on here. You name and who call from, please.
Yeah, AAA, this is Takadia, but they come from Maryland.
You get 3 minutes, ma.
Yeah, AAA, this ID card business. May I want ask one question first? The case where they been get for that the way that Conor man been be part of I wonder waiting and with all them cases then they because I just they believe say all them cases then it's the way they not do.
We get no idea how them pass with her.
Oh God, that's sad. Anyway, the ID business is a good idea. But right now, just like we all man don't talk, ID card not the machine not the for ID card. Machine not the for voters card either because until election time reach and then go get the machine for the voters card. But they not available. Me just feel say salon if they want implement some kind law then they don't say people and they where they not get access to the thing and they money not there for at least don't they talk about on a radio, on a television and social media For the people they know say the next 6 months, when they begin ask for ID card, they cannot know government building if you don't get ID card. At least let the people they realize say that the people then they work for, not the other way around. They're not fair, it's uncalled for. Me, I don't get problem with ID card business, driver's license and salon. I go make big waiting and call at the drive. The policeman pulled me over, asked me for my ID. Not sure, I didn't want to take the ID. Now I said, no, this ID, now making ID. This I go school for them. I sit on a class. I waiting. Yeah, they show you I know say I don't violate the traffic law. I want to write me a ticket. You're not gonna write me a ticket if I get my ID. I say no, write me a ticket. I know they give me money. I they go pay. Also, I'm supposed to pay for this violation. I not deny you for me. I know they give me ID because I know say why I give me. They take a care and go pass. I give money. So that's what they say. When you go, then they take your ID in your hand first. Then they give you another ID. Then when you come back, it's very shaky. Make people realize say we not reach to that side age for make we can't get ID right away. We not even get the ID card yet. They don't even get way for make the ID card for people yet. And then policeman, somebody answer me just now say the policeman they close nine at the ID. No. Because when they wear policeman close, they're not to police at all. People are not get ID. You want for implement waitman law, do and the way the waitman they do and give we enough time for let people and go and get the ID and give the provision for let people able to go get the ID card. People there, we next time if I ask that case day, that particular they then case then they waiting and do with them case then because it's not fair.
All right, thank
you very much.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. Yes, call ID live on air. Your name and side the call from, please.
Yeah, good evening. Raymond Kagwa, actually the call from hospital in Portugal.
Okay, Raymond, I don't know, wait till they take listen, you can turn them down small so that you go get you 3 minutes fine.
Yeah. Yep.
You get 3 minutes, sir.
Yes, I get you now, yep. Yeah, well, I really want to thank Una for the great work Una they do, especially under the current prevailing circumstances with very different people and get their opinion when an issue come up. But I mean, Una they do a very good work because it help we forget a lot about what thing they happen. One of the biggest challenge na salon. And if it happen at that very highest level, and where I mean the highest level within the judiciary, if they want to implement change, then things change now an event, not a big mistake. Change now a process, and when they bring this thing, I mean not even know who side the policy come out and so on, because the fact now that just like how a lot of contributors then don't say already, it really extremely important and it good for develop the culture for always there with your ID card. But in the first place, Salon for able produce ID card when somebody need them, you get them at the time where you need them. At the moment, then they're not available, and it just bring the change as automatic as it is. It will really be challenging and it will very be difficult. And and at the TO people they say when they make some of them changes, I get for think about the people and not just think about the one that will they drive and or the one that will able buy passports, because the majority they drive, they get passports. And like one contributor say, they can do all things for let the people then get voter ID card, but the most important ID card them, the price for get them is so high, it's almost unaffordable for a lot of people. And so, I mean, most of them see as much as na good thing them, but they could think what's impossible. And really, I think the time this not the wrong time, but also let them consider saying a process, not to an event. I mean, even within the banks themselves, the banks then been there for now make them the struggle for even get let people then develop the culture for bank, because for open an account you need a lot. You need an ID card and you need certain information. And so some of the banks, them, if you go with the voter ID card, because now the only form of identification people they get free. All other form of identification you get for pay for them. And at certain time, when you even get the money, you're not able to get them, because at times they left the run there for God know how long. You're not able to get them. And so, let the judiciary know, say, change a process, not to an event, the way how they do, and so then just fix a date and begin implement. And so, and the civil society, now some of them see are not so only what purely political issue come up with they read them as guarantors. Then are guarantors for the people they will know they have afford certain things. And now some of them issue here them for the come into and let we read them voice on them. Thank you very much for giving me the platform.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you, sir. Yes, caller, you're live on here. Your name and who the call from, please.
Albert Lansana, I call from Spring, Texas.
Yes, Albert, you get 3 minutes, sir.
Yes, about the ID card. One caller say, in the court system, and I feel say, yes, ID very important for make everybody get for access the court. I mean, like here, working at court, we know require them forget ID for kind inside, but for make them kind inside, they get for pass through mental detector for scan them, make sure they not get nothing in their possession, because everybody get right for access the court. Maybe for go listen to trial or for go answer to a judge because of speeding tickets or whatever. So now ID for access to court, now they and I feel say it come from. Also, they get for sensitize the people. If they say, okay, well, that's the modus operandi, that's their operation for make them get people that get ID, then they get for give people them time for make them obtain their ID. I mean, like other places, yes, you get for get ID. For case in point, where are they going to be military base? As soon as they pull in at the stop, at the checkpoint, I show me military ID before I enter. But for go in a court, I don't feel say they require the people forget ID. Then the judicial spokesman will say if you don't get ID like crime, I mean that is just completely wrong. Because now if you tell people say if you don't get ID like crime, then that they add to the problem of prison overcrowding. Now you see why we prison the full because of this little offense. So that's just wrong of him saying if you not get ID, that's a crime. So that's my own submission.
Thank you very much, Albert.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, caller ID live on here. Your name and who the call from, please.
Yeah, Triple A. This Abdullah from Melbourne, Australia.
Yes,
how are
Abdullah, you get 3 minutes, sir.
Yeah, Triple A, because regarding the ID, nothing way is very important, like the way Dr. Asatobi they talk today. But the other issue again, thing when a sense are way good for citizens, and then anything where government want implement, you get for make sure say these resources is available for the people. Then may they get the access to them. But if you want anybody where they gonna court building, or maybe later on they get for talk say other government and building where you get for get some form of identification. Yes, not true because of security reason. But you get for make sure say this avenue is available, people can able to access this ID card easily. But me don't go na salon. I be done they forget ID card na salon, na things not easy. And then even voter ID card, me believe say AAA na government identification because but some institutions they not recognize voter ID card. Would they send money sometimes if they go with voter ID card or like, for example a student ID card, sometimes they not they accept them because they feel say people that go get student ID card anyhow So they know they recognize us. So they feel say this go be a fake somebody. Then regarding the man who when he left Econo, he can't free. And for God's sake, you say for your security reason, if you don't get a national ID card, you must get a voter ID card because election don't pass. When I adult, most people when I adult they vote na salon. So you go take this as former ID when they with you for your security. Accident happen in a road or even that court building, emergency go happen. How people they go able to identify you? Not true for your ID card, but they just grab you go, then you go there. Then the other issue is here or some part of Africa or even Western world, yes, they go look at your ID card, but they're not going to take a hand and keep her. They just want to identify you. They know for say, yes, this is Abdullah where they enter at this place. They look at my ID card, and then if they not get for scanner, if you not get that system as alone, if you not get for take any information on a write up on the computer, if they get computer system, they do an electronic system or hard copy, they write down, they give you back. But for me, where they take on the hand, they keep and where they come up by they give you, I'm not too convinced. But the only thing, if government want to make sure say with security is really good for because of this reason for the judges and other people that were in the court, government going to make sure say people let them go to get access to get ID card easily, so that will be. That means talk down. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Abdullah. Yes, caller, you are live on here. Your name and who the call from, please.
It's Ezekiel, the call from Oregon.
Yes, Ezekiel, 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you so much, Triple A. I think beaucoup people don't clear the facts. It not be necessary, obviously, for letting ask for ID for go inside our courts. They've been getting all kinds of way. I don't even know why they go put on ID, because therefore don't easily say because of certain things that we get for happen this particular date with the advice that if you don't get case now no come. Therefore don't settle the issue. There's no need for put on ID. They no say the country get issue with that. I don't know. If they try for help the government, now it's a problem for the government, obviously. So now we are talking about them, they push them now, So, but I think somebody be contribute about how easy for afford the machine and then go produce that in the Mr. Bing don't they think about that, but then they actually begin for come to the conclusion, say something of that vital nature, obviously not fine for like just then at the hands of any person. If it be under control. Even the one way they under control, like the passport, we see how much it land at the hands of foreigners. How much more if you privatize them, Sometimes you will get that process where they in charge. You get the clean mind for like do the right thing for the country. But when you put 15, 20 people in charge, who that they go meet then they game, pass money game, by the time they know you don't add that name date at the system, ID is printed. So we want to make sure say ID, where you say ID card, national ID card, seriously, if they under secure control. My question is, if DMV they give out driver's license, how come they not even incorporate this idea for let people and get national ID card from there? How come? We know obviously the people are not going to afford them a lot of things. Now, government they always subsidize the poor. Then in a Sierra Leone government, as long as taxpayers then they pay taxes, some people has to be subsidized. Why the government not go just come up with a cheap way? If you say 10,000 leons for ID, that would be so simple. Even if then go there, just like where they go, they get your ID card right away. Then they give you a paper where they last for 10, 15 days. Even if they make up for 20 days, that's fine. You give them temporary ID card and print them per paper, then hold them. Then wait the thing available, then give them. Why they not go put them? Because now security issues. So you want to go through a channel where it go be vented. Not to just you get the machine and then you able for printer, and all of a sudden everybody can go able print that thing and they go able get a foreigner then come. You as a private business, you not get no way for bench foreigners. All you care about now profit making. So if them go to you, you go printer. Then people here wait and they respond to people. Sometimes I don't know which side them brain they. You don't need for ask somebody you get party ID card so that you will go with that machine for print. No, if you don't tell us, say, my friend, this is national issue, security issue. It get for pass through a rigorous process for make sure say the right Sierra Leonean get the right thing. Simple. You don't answer that. You don't solve that problem. But you they make us so political now. Somebody they sit on now. The other place they think say, well, everything has to be party policy. I make no more this whole thing they go behind. No, me at the look critically because you can easily buy. What it will do for the country, you know? So that I mean contribution that day, you know, in as much as we are interested on the process, Lord, we think twice. You know, when they talk about national security and national Sierra Leone pride, not on that report, you know, just they go, they say they go print. Every that can jail from all over the world, who can get Sierra Leone ID card. Thank you so much, Super.
Thank you very much, Ezekiel.
Yes, sir.
Yes, call ID live on the air. Your name and who the call from?
Yeah, I'm here to talk to.
3 minutes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir, 3 minutes.
Okay. As far as this it's not security there's so much concern about, I think the court they should have a magnetometer and the screen doors for detect any metal or whatever the case may be. Or they can put in any other building where they think say they need the security to be protected, you know, the areas to be protected. As far as ID card is concerned, every individual, you know, needs to have an ID card, you know, for their own protection, in the sense that you can come on your host today, you go down the city for them. And the ID card isn't going to take for identify you. So I don't see why it's supposed to be an issue. Even when you go to court, if the court let you get a driving ticket, you go to court, the court find you guilty and say you got to go pay to the cashier. When you get to the cashier booth, you have to present your ID card. So ID card is very important, you know, whether you appear in a court or not, for your personal use, you know, you need to have an ID card. At least the schools then can help the students then with student ID card, because they can make a government issued ID card for the students then, you know, but they need to be able to be identified in any circumstances. So the ID card issue, to me, is not supposed to be a big issue. People are supposed to have ID cards to identify themselves, you know, in the case of any eventualities. That's my submission.
Thank you very much, Ayo. Yes, call ID live on air. Your name and who side the call from, please.
Triple, this is Alaji. I call from Maryland.
Yes, Alaji. You get 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, just like Mr. Ayo talk, you know, because I'm working in the security area, we'll make sure see we get the walk-through magnetometer, or you got a handheld magnetometer. That's what they take one you. If not for security, they for use that one day. Even the courthouse of Maryland, they have the walk-through magnetometer where they go. If they get any beep safe, you know, and they go use the handheld and magnetometer and wind you down, up and down, all that kind of stuff. This ID card, I mean, the people are not joking the joke, because you can bring something on Friday, with Saturday and Sunday, most people don't work, most officers don't work. They see you forget her before you can a court on Monday, or else you don't break the law. That's just it don't make any sense. Salon people we need to understand, say, if we want be, I'm not sure we want be like European anymore, but if we want to salon the up the map, there's no tier. There's no tier. 9 for day in place. Over 59 years, nobody no go say I get ID card, national ID card. Come on, if you get yourself within a few, why make the government no go spend money then get into the national ID card? You know, a good, for example, like when they do censorship, when they do censor how many population will get. They don't need for go and count individually. Now the ID card and they take no more, they've got the numbers there. Straight away, they don't know how many people there. It go accurate how much though, but at least a small space go there. Why make we they put research by your burden? Why would they bring problem in Kawo? No say this, you understand? It just for bring problem come back in the country.
I mean, then you can't say if a person go to law court without the ID, he don't break the law. Come on, what's wrong with these guys? Are they kidding me? Policeman them all, army man them all. I think I make fun when that guy say them for saying a uniform because I don't know more than get. They don't even get the military ID card for just say, look, I'm in the army. This is my military ID card. They don't get that. It's just your uniform. How long ago they party like Ravandi? They get other important building there where they don't even get them magnetometer for security reason. They will not pull law court no more because people. What's coming up? Are they maybe they get somebody something they can't pay, they don't let people go there. Or if you are that, if it's people and then at the law court they work there, they get they all forget an ID. When somebody want to say we not get ID, somebody will work there, then they can register that person, he sign the person in. It is sign her in, say this person has responsibility for this person here. Then it can go inside the court. But for begin ask anybody for ID, then you left your ID card there, then they give you pass. It doesn't make any sense, Mark. That did not make no sense. So people, thank you very much. That I know I get today.
All right, thank you very much, Alaji.
You're welcome, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, caller ID live on air. Your name and who the call from, please.
Hey, this is Janet Mathamusa. I call from the UK.
Yes, Janet, what do you want to share with me?
You know, when you listen to the press release from the court, it's so annoying, and you wonder whether or not a legal institution will work. They know about time and time limit, time frame. If you want to put some kind of a rule in place, you go give people maybe 20, 28 or 30 days for say within this time frame. Una for don't get una cards them, you know, away from that safe. Let us say how people may go court before. The jurors when they go court, then they give them letter. You know, the jurors are not to be part of this arrangement. For say if you not get your card, you know, for enter. Because before they appoint you as a juror, you know, they go don't do a lot, the process go don't take place. When you reach then give you a pass. Inside the court for don't give you a pass, where they allow the jurors them for enter without this ID card, where then self go follow in the next 30 days, the time frame when they go give, you know, that's one area. But the other thing we for me where I find very difficult is that people that will get case. Say you case this today, you know, on Friday then pass law, Monday you get case. Also, if you not get ID card, how you gonna enter? They could make an option. They say, okay, will they give you a pass for this time? Within 30 days, anybody will get case here. I'm not talking about visitors, because inside the courtroom, we get two sets of participants. We get Mitisha go to listen to me, Mr. Albert, Lance and I go to listen to me. And we get two participants. We get the professional participants. We get the outsiders. You go be surprised for say, you know, these outsiders are made of the jurors, you know, visitors, the person that will get case inside there. I would break them down so that people when they listen at Freetown will understand this setup here. Then people are so, you know, the outsiders they can the jurors then we don't get paper. Now they earn for say if you don't get now this what they do within this period. We get them pass for enter. You know, for the first 30 days, after which now, when I get for apply, and the caller women there on the phone just now ask a legitimate question. Then they issue ID cards them. Well, listen, and the caller before this other caller, they talk about what's that the time frame. When you go there and say the person where they sign all day, they don't go conference, they get workshop. You know, we don't send 2-3 people in that place there for go get ID card. I know the nonsense conversation where they come out there. It will take you 4 to 6 weeks to get one ID card. It is so annoying. Okay, if they pass this law now, say it has become mandatory. Forget an ID card for enter the court building. Then they for also go to the ID office and say people for to get an ID, you know, less than 7 days or 7 days. So which is acceptable. You know, which will be workable, you know, but again, the machines that we then get, you know, at the doctor, they talk about this and that and the other. That is the ideal, but it's not the reality. We not get bokuti na frito. So to me, Tripoli, it is very annoying. And this, let me clarify that man's statement. Now the court, we say if you enter the court, you not get your ID card. How you enter the court, first of all, you get security then they under. You cannot enter that court without this. And I think first somebody asked the question yesterday, what's happened to the security set up by the court? Are they not adequate? They're not competent for handle the crowd. This has been going on for the last 60 years. As old as I am, that's how old our courthouse is. You know, what's changed so quickly? Okay, times have changed. Security reasons, yes, but give the people enough time for get their ID card. You know, so to me, it's an administrative failure that take place on that court day. So we own judiciary. The NSF, they fail so big time. Who can we trust now? Which institution now will we for trust? Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much, Janet. Yes, caller, you there live on air? You name and side call from, please.
Yeah, this is Hassan. I call from Canada.
Yes, Hassan, you get 3 minutes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, it's regarding this ID card na salon.
Go ahead, sir.
Now regarding this ID card na salon, you know, this country, my brother, aside the previous caller and say no, is so painful. You know, how then they go give people then just 2 days for produce ID card? You know. So this I don't know, the people of the ruling and the aside masses say no coconut head there, you know. I swear to God. So this is really tough, because even a voter ID card, they at times where they go some places and they don't accept her, you know. So this is really difficult in our country. They, I swear to God. We then at the diaspora now, we talk tea, you know, that the stress 90 money. I swear to God, every day for talk, one grain story, like the people that know educate, you know. So this now me on take that no more to God,
thank you
because
very
it really
much,
stressful about the country. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yeah. The previous administration, then we promised we a voter ID card. We go make the national ID card no look mean anything. If you remember, when the time we don't reach now, where people let me get accessible, 5 years ago, just make an ID card. Why we need another ID card? And so, because this time, not to laminating, it go be this, them all kind way they do, and then even tell we say you they able to travel with and go to other Africa can't give them. That's what they said. Eh? But at the end of the day, it not be happen. In fact, it being get for fall flat, because the previous one now be the computer generated one, and the other, this last one now can end up for be the laminated one. With all the budgets the way can come inside for do. But one thing where you go give them kudos pamper politician, when that time reach for election, any kind way, then they fin make we get the voter ID card. There is a culture in Sierra Leone. People don't know the value of ID card, identification. People don't know the value of identification. You know why? Because the system not built in a way where it go require you for produce ID just like that. You know what to make Naya with a worker with ID, when Naya you remember you feel say you not get your ID, you will not want trouble. Because we get some people that way. You will not want trouble. Where you know say you not get your ID. Like me, if a member say I left me wallet, and like in a quick trip I go to the store, and then they feel good. And now they feel good. Because you go say you get you whatever pass now your phone will go able to pay for, you they able to pay for things you know what I mean, the NFC and all those things. But because your ID did it, me even a saloon, I don't remember one time I forget me wallet. So it come to time now, I began to find some sign inside the car where I put my ID. Because I just don't want, it's part of me. It's part of me. I just don't want something where waiting self. That day, I felt so uncomfortable. I felt so uncomfortable because alone, you know, okay, the day you get different bag then, you know, no sure you go take it inside the motor car. You know, you don't need because, you know. So now I take left my wallet. And the wallet were left, the ID did it. And when somebody come to me, I be just say like drop quick. But I felt uncomfortable. Waiting do because it don't be part of we. In Sierra Leone, they don't. I go give you one phone. This was way back. And police headquarters, I don't know if they still they do them. But police headquarters, where you want to enter the building, you get for left an ID. You get for left your ID there. So a friend of mine will go, he get in, luckily with him, he be getting British passport. So now he left the passport. He left and down to the security. He go up. So the person will go to, he man not able to sit down self. He just tell him and say, go down, my passport stay down there big. Go take her to that security, my passport stay down. No, go take her. Okay. It was all good. So the next time they go, he go to Salon Passport. Dual, you know how we can do it. He go to Salon Passport. Guess what? The guy in the security, remember the man. Now he asked and say, no, whether you order passport. Where you order passport? Now this my friend asks and say, so what you want to do with my passport? Why they ask for me order passport? You get plan for her? Why if I ask for her? Not a passport you want? That was just a fun on the side. But that day, then they do am na police headquarters. Where you want go, I not say where you want go up the higher level side. Where you want go up there. Then they do and they. Okay. A lot of people now get the contention about this court building being a public building or being a state building. The court building, a public building or a state building. Then, the other bone of contention now for left you ID give them. For left and give them. Then you go. Now the court premises. I not say the court one for able for see how then they walk around and make sure say just like other callers and say if it's for security. My dear, the ID you know they stop the worst. Security, yes, the ID go help potentially if na people within sabi say there were the name can come up can you keep business, so they're gonna be questioned, then get red flag. But waiting then they do not for take and keep. They not get system more than they put. They not get nothing for just take and keep. Where you can then give you number. Where you can then say, oh, waiting on your number, okay, now you own this. For Friday, for Monday. And they not correct. That one they not correct. Not correct at all. That's the one. Then popularizing it for the people where they go now the court building. If Juror say they not tell her, maybe the Juror, that's not his first time going for that case day. It don't they go. So not of us saying that the first time we can go identify say now you don't come and I don't see don't want and to them, you don't know side for go, so you don't need nothing again. But the problem still lies is with people no they work out an ID. That the one they will get them. Because first of all, passport na secret document na salon. Passport na secret document. People will get them, then they keep her under kutuku for passport you. So not a passport, you know, you just say, oh, passport, they are like work out my passport today. Because the idea and the notion we don't get passport are secret documents and salon. Even though the court say you can use them. So let's say person not get national ID but he get passport. I not see that alone person the way they go taking passport no more they work out with. Where you not get passport reason for work out with in passport. You go see the lawyers them then get a pass because waiting do or then they go to court. Most of them want for be identified and get them badge in the neck for sure. So they want then they kudos then go get a pass. But salon find one or begin for implement them. Even all the building themselves then can start them. But make them begin gear and force. Because a lot of places then they, just like we callers then say, now voter ID card, if you see get small fade or small bot, they don't want her. Because institution then in Asalo we not even believe voter ID card anymore. More especially now how they laminate. They don't believe them more. You know why? Because we don't even get database where the institution and they for able for input the voter ID card and they for see say, oh yes now they posting this. There's no database. So we go round and round and round and round and round and come back. We find out see the identification of citizens in the country and a database is very, very needed. I see they've they talk about if this law go through parliament and whatnot. Well, I don't think say go parliament. And now I make the judiciary say now for free tongue no more, then no say for up the provinces. Then say now for the own building. Because of the the caliber case the way then they deal with. You see this two laying at table today? Il get beaucoup front them param. But the number one where we all agree na say we people them need ID card, we people them for learn the attitude for work out with an ID for make them identify themselves. But I end back at say because of the system where database not there, if police only say your ID no mean nothing. Your ID no mean nothing. Because now waiting for come after you hold the ID, now the other thing. I know like most people who can go salon, they say, oh me, I need to give police my ID. Me I dey give. Whenever they break me, I dey pull and give them. And when you give them, the conversation can change. Then can know, then can able spot say, oh, them people are na can then can. But when you don't give them now they're able to prove say yes, na can then can. So if you wonder who can make fun, I guess some of my friends in Germany, or the one where their own ID they in Dutch and all that thing there, and say they can just give the police there, They can just give the police and then the police can just say what you card because waiting, but I believe say they're able to find that expiration date and what. Okay, talking of expire ID, I will get somebody. We hear me, daddy. Daddy said, hey, Yusuf, you don't tell you ID card don't expire. You know, it's not be your answer. He said, now the card expire, not to me expire. If they want to learn, know all am. Until I meet him before then, so waiting. You see the Solomon idea? He said that the card expire, not to me expire. Look at in and map so if the card don't expire self, well, now the card, not to in. The waiting they needed in for match in name to in safe. This was in the United States, you know. For me that they be able for explain, say no, you need for go renew your ID card. You need a valid ID card. When they say valid, enough for expire. We expire, invalid. But your argument say, it no expire. In day. I will never forget that conversation. The the government need for step up for the national ID card. Because quick one just now, after you see this census as they done, guess what? Voter ID card, they come. Voter ID card, they come. They need to joke with that one day because they need people in for votes. And make we begin build with database. So that when police ask you for ID, you know say you want to check something. When they ask you for ID, you know say they want to check something. I be they do business with person. This is the person where they college. College. I want to send money. Now I say, waiting at the name where they pay your ID. I say no get ID card. I thought he was joking first. I say no get ID. Now I say, say me I no get ID. Oh. I say no get national ID. I say what about your voter ID card? Now I say be don't lost. If you remember back in the days, not too long ago, when you go salon, go outside them photographers them. You go see say beaucoup people ID kin dey where they can say lost and found. Outside them can put Omonga pay for your picture. You go must meet somebody in ID dey. We lost, they don't even care for Fena. Because voter ID card now one thing they give. After that we see lost you done. Past year at where other 5 years where election then they come. The correct now, the money for voter ID card, then the Fena. Because they need people for votes. But the national ID card, well, we hope say this time around, it go change. As then they issue the card, then they let them get a database of people. Eh? Look, salute. We are the champion for database. Eh? Some of the results will come up at the worst. Some man in name 90D. But the face different. Some man are in face, but the name different. So people and they argue say, if they miss the name and the face, that the picture would then put at the result. Why they not for things say they miss pan the results? Eh? Why they not for things say they not miss pan? They say no. Then the result, if you fail, you fail. You pass. They don't miss that one day. But two side they miss no more. Yes, they are accepting some of the name them and the pictures they would then put kind of different, but at the results did it. So waiting in the claim, if they give you this result, eh? Now let's start the database now campus. So if they give you this result, as long if now you name the day and not to your face, then say now your result. If now you face the day and not to your name, then say now your result. Now miss number, they miss one thing. So some man they argue say, well, even that resulted in the questioner. Eh? Garbage in, garbage out. Not so they can tell we. Where some people can inside alone and say, oh, now the computer don't jump in him. Oh, now computer don't do this. No. What do you get? Now they give you. So during that input process, now they don't make that mistake. Eh? But make we come back to the issue. The database that's alone. We need for build them. Why they take them forever for start them? If they don't start them safe, why is it so slow? Why? Eh? Why? That's the question. Why? Why is it so slow? Because now where everybody get ID, When you go somewhere, then require for an ID, you're able to produce them. Then we go learn, say, even say first, that man we come out, kono. You know, even afraid self say you they come out, kono, take and free to you know get ID. This by God in power, oh, don't believe. By God power, man go rich. What if something went wrong? How can you be identified? You go say, oh, then get manifesto, then they take. Eh? Then get manifest. And then they take. But the manifest and then they match you. Now you just they give the name. Now you they give the name, so now wait till you give them. I believe say this is not a good strategy for make people learn the habit, forget an ID. But again, if the institution where they issue the ID not the, how are we going to get it? So now make I feel say the timing was wrong. Friday for Monday. Now make a lot of people they question and say something they underneath we're not correct. It's not correct. Because on a normal, even if post not been get them, then you not even inform the people who. Let's say now you know inform the public self, but inform the one that work for can court. Inform the one that work for can court. Now make you use then self no say wrong. Now make them they say, oh, because now first day for implement, but it's wrong. If I don't want month to I don't give people every day then they can't cut to the announcer, una post and na the court area them. For the one that we able read, una the announcer say, hey, starting of social and say, no, say now January you should have been fine. Say come 2021, everybody where they can't cut from January, everybody where they come. Eh? You need to get an ID. So people then go begin work now. Whether they school for go take in university and school because they say then they accept them. Whether they school go take. I don't know no more now if they market to man them because they said they can get case. If they union them, they market union them, then can they give ID. I don't know no more. Eh? So that people then for don't know say come so and so time we need an ID before we go access the building. But for Friday, for Monday, where weekend force is dead, don't come Monday. I think that was not a good call. That was not a good call. That was not a good call. And Mr. Moses, we go try for get him make it kaya. Make something we can explain you something a mistake talk we say if person go there without ID in a crime. No, if person go inside without an ID, then how can the person go in without an ID with security then did it? So now I mean the security for beef up instead of focusing on the ID. That's what me think. We are not giving, or me not to give pass to the people of Sierra Leone, but this is a culture which Sierra Leone done with forever, not for workout ID. So we want for change them, that's fine. We want for change them, and it's good for change them. I know see doctor they call for a chip na the ID. Hey, I make as a doctor left. Eh? The one at the ordinary one first for gain a problem. Let alone forget a chip in it. Eh? No. But I so go end today on. And we go there tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll get story and parable time. And we get an interesting topic tomorrow. We go get for deal with roots. Remember we they talk about Anaya, eh? We get for deal with roots. Tomorrow we roots we want to talk about. And another question for tomorrow. If them born you na the provinces and you move come na the city or move come na the state or wherever you move go, and you're not able or you not sabi for talk, eh? The outside and born you, the mother tongue, you know what I mean by that. If you not sabi for talker, who do you blame? Are you self or are you people blame? So all that now they deal with now to my link them to you whose part you come out, and if usa you come out able for make or break you as a Sierra Leonean, eh? So no miss tomorrow, you know, na perable time, but you know say story time we can look for look back and all those things. So no miss tomorrow, you know. It has to be interesting. Let we learn waiting some of our family members then I learn from who side them born or who side them people and come out, how many times they don't visit. I think me after that program that day, I make up my mind say on my next visit, I think I need to go up there. Eh? Seriously. I'll get for goodie. I said we go need for go visit. Yes. Necessary. Or you know see and so. Eh? Wall the need for one time where you go. Just go up there, go find and say hi. And let you not sleep. Eh? Come here, no plan for sleep. You know they far from me anyway. If I wake early, no, I'm able to go the same day and return back the same day. Make sure see, you subscribe. Explore with AAA. We don't try, we don't get 100 subscribers. And because of that, we say this. But Slay no left 100. We're looking for tens of thousands. How they make so like say na salon internet? Why would they slow so for subscribe? Eh? But we don't reach 100. Why would they slow for subscribe? Tomorrow I will upload an interview I be doing at Star TV. I be doing an interview at Star TV maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I go upload on the channel. Eh? So make sure you subscribe so that whenever I upload something, this is Explore with AAA we are talking about. And I don't tell you say when me reach salon, I will make you feel one kind way. Trust. You go forget that AAA we can talk now. Eh? Oh. Alright. Until you don't see the one them where I've been doing before. Eh? Where we go Moyamba, but this they up the level now. They up the level now. Okay? We'll be there back tomorrow. I'll tell you don't begin answer one thing self. Say if you not sabi talk, eh? You say na the parents there. If you not sabi talk your mother tongue, and the parents me no Congo Sami no more para. But if something took for me can come out, but no may not can come out so. Oh. I don't know that for blame na me outside. Eh? That's lovely funny. Go there back tomorrow. Till we meet again. Triple A. Tata.